And so what we're doing right here is we are solving radical equations. So our goal is to see what number can I plug in for x and then add 5 to it and end up with 13, right? And so the first step we need to do is we need to try to isolate the square root of x on the left of the equal sign by itself. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides like that. And so when I do that, what does it leave me with? The square root of x equals 8. Good. And now, the problem I have left is I've got this square root. What is the opposite of square root?
Square root.
And so I need to get rid of the square root, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to square both sides. Say it.
Square both sides.
Okay? And so when you square the square root, the radical goes away, doesn't it? And so what am I left with? X equals what?
64.
64. Good. And that's our answer. And so what we're saying is, we're saying that I can take 64 and put it right here. And when I take the square root of it, then I can add 5 and I'm going to get 13. So what is the square root of 64?
8.
Well, let's check and see if our solution's right. So I'm saying the square root of 64 plus 5 will equal 13. What is the square root of 64?
8.
Does 8 plus 5 equal 13?
Yes.
So we got it right. I checked my answer, didn't I? Okay, so on this one, we're trying to solve for what? C. So I need to get this 1 right here on the right side of the equal sign, don't I? Is this 1 positive or negative?
Positive.
So what's this minus sign go with? The square root of c. So it's the square root of c that's negative, isn't it? So I need to take that 1 and I need to subtract 1 from both sides. And so I have negative square root of c equals negative 3, right? Now what do I need to do to get this? First off, this negative's no good, is it? What do I need to do, or what number's understood to be right here? A 1, right? So what am I going to do to get this negative 1 to go away? I will divide by negative 1 on both sides. And so I have the square root of c equals positive 3. Good. And now I want to get rid of the square root.
Square both sides.
So I'm going to square both sides.
C equals 9.
And so just like you said, c equals 3 squared, which is 9. There's our answer. So on our last problem, we have 4 square root of x plus 2 plus 3 equals 19. So some folks said we should divide 4 on both sides, but that won't be our first step. Our first step is going to be to get this positive 3 on the what? On the right. The way I get a positive 3 to the right is to do what with it?
Subtract.
So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, and so I have 4.
Square root of x plus 2
4 square root of x plus 2
equals 16.
equals 16. And now we want to divide by this what?
4.
So I'm going to divide 4 on both sides. And so I have the square root of x plus 2 equals 4. Good. And then this is the only part that's new, right? Y'all didn't know today that if you have square root of something, to get rid of the square root, you what it? Square. And some of you already knew it. So we will square both sides. Square it. And so I have x plus 2 equals,
16.
right?
Subtract 2.
Subtract 2 from both sides. So x equals
14.
perfect. So there's your answer, 14, right there.